It's kind of strange. I put the little face tracker on my DJI, so I shouldn't be moving too much, so it shouldn't be weird. But hello, everybody. Today's Friday, August. Hello, you. Today is Friday, August the 29th. I think the last time I made a video was about 10 days ago, prior to me going to, where have I been? I went to Vegas, then I drove to Phoenix for the day, drove back to Vegas, flew to Houston, took the bus to Austin, flew back to Maryland. So been moving around a good bit, but very productive, I would say. I went to Magic Trade Show, my first time going to that. That was a really cool event. I think the main thing that I was looking to get from going to Magic Trade Show was one, seeing what it was all about, because I went to China. I went to Canton Fair, which is like a big trade show. So I was expecting Magic to be just as big, but I was very surprised because it was a lot smaller. I would say it was about one fourth the size of what, one sixth the size of what Canton Fair was. Canton Fair was literally the whole city was dedicated towards that expo, and it was like 3 miles worth of buildings and expo or exhibition or displays and manufacturers and stuff like that. But um, Magic was literally three convention centers. I got to meet some of my manufacturers, which was really cool. Manufacturers that I work with in China, and meeting them in person was cool. Seeing them in my home country was pretty cool. Got to see some other manufacturers. Like I saw some shoe manufacturers, spoke with them, some folks that make like uniforms, like football uniforms, because that's something that that's the growth opportunity that we identified through the Goldman Sachs cohort program that I did, trying to see if we can start to like take market share from like the Nikes and really the Under Armours, because they have a hold on like the youth sports and the high school sports sector. I think if I can come in and start to be a more personable option, at a competitive price point with quality that meets their standard and customization, that really represents them, I think I can start to take market share here in the DMV and beyond. But met some quality manufacturers. Then I went over to Magic Men's, and I was seeing all of the brands that were there that were trying to get in front of retail buyers and get into merchandising. That was really cool to see, because you see how much money that they pay. It pays anywhere from like 7,000 to probably like 20,000 to have their own little exhibits, and all the retail buyers from places like Bloomingdale's and Saks and DTLR and all the outlets that you can think of. They all come there and they see what new products are in the market. What I did notice was there was like a sea of sameness. All of these streetwear brands have these big flashy designs. They got their bedazzled jeans and shirts, and like we're entering that maximalist era again. As I noticed, um, yeah, it was just a sea of sameness, honestly. But it was cool to see some of the very unique brands. I met this one Nigerian guy. We just kind of like gravitated towards each other. He has a really cool brand out of LA. He was telling me how getting in, what word did he use? Getting in showrooms is a really good way to get your brand out there, because all the different fashion designers from LA to New York, they all go to those showrooms and pick products. So he gave me that game, and I got his contact information. I met this guy from down south who has this brand called Solstice, which is like an activewear brand that he's trying to grow and launch. And seeing that he had a booth and he paid however much money to be there, was really impressive, because he just started not too long ago. So I was giving him some advice, and I told him about my journey, and it kind of amped him up to see how committed, how it amped him up to see how committed I was to this process of building the brand. And felt cool to kind of give him insight in my 6 years of this experience, because I have been in the game for a good minute. So that was a good experience. And then I just so happened to be sitting down taking a break around like 12:30, and this woman walks by me after she has a conversation, and her badge says Landover, Maryland, or something like that. And I was like, hey, just randomly, are you from Maryland? She was like, no, I just moved there 3 months ago. And I was like, what made you move? She said, work. I'm a retail buyer for DTLR. And I was like, well, I got a brand that's based out of Maryland. We've been in business for about 6 years. We are an activewear brand, but we have a lot of pieces that people wear for like streetwear and like casually. So she brought over the male retail buyer, and I got that connect. They gave me their contact information and said, when you get back to Maryland, let's set up a meeting. So just serendipity, being in the right place at the right time, seizing the opportunity. Hopefully something materializes from that. If not, it still affirms to me that like me going to these places and spaces is very beneficial for where I'm trying to go and what I'm trying to do. So yeah, that was a really cool experience to go to Vegas and go to the trade show. I got to go to the through the Tesla tunnel and see like a little, it was like a little glimpse into the future to see like a tunnel just for Teslas that you can kind of beat traffic in, and it's like automated and has all these gadgets and whistles, and that was cool. Um, yeah, drove to Phoenix for really like 12 hours. Kicked it with a friend out there. That drive from Vegas to Phoenix was like 3, 4 hours through the Hoover Dam and through all of the beautiful scenery. I was like, wow, this is such a different landscape than what I'm used to here on the East Coast. And it was just so beautiful to see all of it and really soak it in, listen to music, wind my window down, and just be present in that moment. I really enjoyed that. Then I went to Spirit Count Your Days, because you guys didn't let me fly from after driving 4 hours back to Vegas. You canceled the flight because the plane had issues. Then when I tried to dang board the plane after you pushed the flight to 4 p.m. from 8 a.m., you tell me that the gates closed early with no notification, with no alerts, with no nothing, after you gave us a meal voucher and told us to go eat, and then refunded me a $50 or $70 credit for my flight. Count your days, Spirit. But went back to Houston for like maybe 3 days. Just worked out, ran, and just kicked it in Houston. It was really affirming to me that I miss Houston, because around this time last year, I had to leave Houston and move back to Maryland because my employee that was working for me, she ended up moving to Miami. So like no one was running the business, and I was running out of money. So I had no choice. Regardless, I was going to have to move to Maryland. And being back in Houston and running, I had like a 10-mile run in Houston, same path that I was running when I was there last year. I was like, dang, I miss this, and like I want to be back here. I could see myself living here long term, or throughout the rest of my 20s. So that was cool. And then I went to Austin, spent time with my niece, got to see her, and she's walking and Google Gagaing and talking a little bit, and yeah, I love that little girl so much. That's my whole heart. But yeah, I think this will be the last just a chill guy living and working in a warehouse, because I'm low key moving to Buffalo next week because football season is starting. Me and Ty have a few designs on the way that we're getting ready to release up in Buffalo, and I just fully want to take advantage of the opportunity that we have of best friend playing in the NFL on a team with a great fan base, with a great team, and a great opportunity to potentially make it to a Super Bowl. So I just want to seize that opportunity and see what it leads to, and really lean into that, really go as niche as possible into that Buffalo market. There's some gyms up there that I want to collaborate with. There's a run club. There's a few fitness creators and local creators that are diehard Bills Mafia through and through. And I feel like Ty has a cool story. The brand has a cool story. I think I'm pretty cool as well too. And, you know, I just miss my brother. I want to hang out with him and kick it with him as we ride out this last little portion of our 20s before we really got to be adults and get married and have kids and stuff, realistically. But yeah, I think I'm finna change the name of this. I'm going to continue to do these weekly videos because they really have been affirming to me. The highs and the lows. Literally yesterday, I was like, man, I should just give up, file bankruptcy, and motherfucking just, I don't know, figure something else out. But then I'm like, nah, you can't do that. Like, you just have to find a way to keep pushing forward, because the easiest way to fail is to give up. So yeah, and I just get constant reminders of people sending me someone wearing the brand, or literally someone sent me someone on a live stream, a streamer wearing the brand, and then I see people tagging it and stuff like that. So just got to persevere and keep going, and just reminding myself that I'm on the right path, even though there are challenges on the path, even though some days I don't have the motivation or the wherewithal or the sight to keep pushing forward. As long as I'm in the game, I'm just going to keep getting better. And I'm really getting better at looking back on what I've done. I think I made a video that said, watch this in 12 months. And it was dated September the 13th or something like that. But I was really, really low at a low point yesterday. And I watched the video and it was just me talking, rambling a little bit. But then at the end, there was a gem where I was talking about how I talked to this founder that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And he had told me that, you know, he knows that I'm going to be successful and maybe a clothing brand isn't the business that does it for me. Maybe it's just a stepping stone or something that I learned from. And this might be a C opportunity and I have an A-level skill set. But he's made his money selling water bottles. And I'm sure he's heard that thousands of times that in the beginning phases before the company was successful, that like his opportunity could be maximized doing something else. And me seeing that video kind of reminded me like, that was a year ago. I was in the jam. I've made it another year. I'm going to make it another year from now. But the only way that I'm going to make it is if I tell myself that I'm going to make it and put my mind to it. So just those reminders to self and making these videos, writing in my journal, and documenting the process and the journey has been very helpful and useful for me on this path. And I'm just going to continue going. We're going to figure out what the new name of this is going to be. But yeah, it's been a fun ride as just a chill founder, working and living in a storage unit. I don't want to really have that label for myself anymore. I'm just a chill founder. I'm a passionate founder, and I'm gonna keep elevating. So we'll figure out what the name of the next week's video will be. But appreciate y'all. Continue to stay present and have a great day on purpose, or have a great night on purpose. Just be purposeful and intentional with everything that you do, because this life that you live is yours to live. You have the choices every day when you wake up to do what you want to do and be who you want to be. Don't let the world fool you to think that you don't have any autonomy. So, deuce.